runner in scoring position for Dirks. Tigers trying to get the early jump on the Orioles. Scoreless game in the third. 2 outs. Santiago at second, the 2-2. Going inside. And they're seeing the ball very well right now. 3-2.
Changes, that fastball is good. There's a change. This is good action.
My wife and I have Pops Packing, which is it is an art space, but it's also our home and our studios. It houses a residency program. We look at it as a laboratory for both ourselves to explore, the building and events and things like that, but then also for other artists to come in and be able to have the freedom to explore and experiment and, if necessary, fail, but it's no pressure because it doesn't really matter. It's about the process.
The yard and the garden is a pretty sizable extension of what we do inside. Any of the shows that we have tend to be a little more event-based, and there tends to be an outdoor component, whether it's performance or installation, just a way of expanding the space. So you can, some of these are pseudo-permanent installations, others are constantly changing.
We bought at the Wayne County auction a couple years ago 2 houses across from Pops Packing. One is just a standard house, and that houses resident artists who come in. And then the other one is a house with a storefront attached, and that will be kind of a project space. So that'll be for the residency program, people to work on and work in, and it'll be an exhibition space eventually.
Well, there's Squash House.
And what, is that going to be like a community space in the end?
Yeah, it's essentially a, it's a house in a dense neighborhood just east and a little north of here. We're essentially converting an abandoned, kind of fire-damaged house into a rec center that serves as a squash court and serves as a community squash garden as well. There's a huge Bengali population where it's at. And they grow squash and make these elaborate trellises to grow squash on. So we'll have a vertical squash garden in the back, an interior greenhouse atrium thing, and then the court.
Yeah, I guess I've always enjoyed games of some type or another. I grew up, playing baseball and soccer and football, and then you take that inside with, board games and play a lot of backgammon and chess. And it's a nice way of bringing people together, I guess, or a good excuse. Bocce ball is a good one, too. At MOCAD is the RecPod, which is kind of a mobile rec room, if you will, a sculptural anchor for gameplay. So it's an interactive piece that invites people to come in, make up their own rules, and have fun. I think the interactive quality of the RecPod and specifically, and then more recent work is kind of a direction I'm heading in. It seems to make it more accessible for a viewing public, and maybe a non-art world viewing public. I think it's easier for them to enter a piece and if they can interact with it. I think the fact that it's in a museum, it just reinforces the notion that it's anytime's a good time for play, it's in anywhere. People sometimes just take themselves and a little too seriously, and it's just a nice reminder to lighten up a little bit.